When you were coming up as an actor, I remember you told me over the phone the landscape wasn't too broad when it came to black female actors, right?
Well, there was not the plethora that there is today. Mm-hmm. When I was growing up in Houston, Texas, there was Eartha Kitt and Pearl Bailey and Cicely Tyson and Dorothy Dandridge and Lena Horne and Ruby Dee. And each one had their own particular quality. And that's the beauty of it. None of them were the same. And there was something about Miss Ruby. Her beauty, what a beauty, huh? So beautiful. Oh my goodness.
I noticed like a fire in her. Did that come across as what separated her from others? Like some sort of passion or something? What
it was just her own quality. There was this quiet, yes, a quiet fire. A quiet fire. And it was intense too. But it was quiet. And it made me want to look at her all the time. I wanted to just look at her. Let's say if you see the film Raisin in the Sun today, look at her when she's not speaking. Look at her when she's listening to other people. You know?
I kind of know the answer, but I need to ask. What's the big deal about Raisin in the Sun? Why is it so acclaimed?
A Raisin in the Sun is a very important play. A Raisin in the Sun is a play about family. And it's a play about human dignity. And it's a play about love. And within A Raisin in the Sun, there are 3 love stories. There's Ruth and Walter. There's Beneatha and Asaggai. And there's Lena and Big Walter. This play is so easily miscalculated as a civil rights play. That's not what that play is at all. And to read it as a civil rights play is to miss the point entirely. It is a very complex human drama. And we like that.
Is that what set it apart from what was out there at that time? Was it in late 50s?
And I think so. Yeah. I think so. But I think that at the time that it was produced and seen, I think that a lot of people did make the mistake of identifying it as a civil rights play because of the issue of the home and moving into a neighborhood that was new and different and not open to African American people. But that's not what the play is about. That's something that happens in the play as the fulfillment of a dream of living in a space where there's light and where things can grow. If that same house that Lena Younger saw had been in a neighborhood filled with Hispanic people, or filled with Asian people, or filled with African American people, she'd have bought that home no matter where it was, because it was filled with light and it was a hope and promise for the family to continue and to grow. And that was the point, you know.
What would you guess her plight was as a Black female actor? What comes up against you?
I marvel at African American artists in this time in which Miss Dee was developing and in which she grew, because the opportunities were limited at best. And yet, creativity would find its way. Creativity would make its way. A creative person is not stopped. And Miss Dee certainly was not stopped. her mind was always moving creatively. I remember at the occasion of her 50th anniversary celebration, she talked about practicing fainting in the kitchen with her children. She said, I'm practicing my fainting now. You all have to, I'm practicing. Wherever she was and whatever she was doing, no matter how it appeared, whether it was domestic chore, which she gave herself to fully, she was still an artist, and she was always thinking about that, and she was always moving in that way. Later, I would come to discover other actors who had not been as visible to me as a child living in Houston, Texas, as Miss Dee had been. I would discover Frances Foster, and I would discover Esther Rolle, and Juanita Moore, of course, I remembered from Imitation of Life. But it was amazing to me that these artists found a way to create, but they did. So strong and so compelling was the creative energy and their desire to be completely who they were. They made a way for themselves. They created things we're not always aware of. I'm not aware of the full canon of Miss Dee's work. And that is a regret that I have, because I know that there are wonderful works that she's participated in that I'm just not aware of. And I hope that somehow that will be documented for future generations. It would be a shame for us not to be aware of it, for us not to know.